With me is the Ambassador of Dominican Republic. So welcome to WION. My first question to you is, you've put this special exhibition in which there are pictures from Dominican Republic and India. If you can elaborate on the significance of this exhibition.
Well, thank you very much, Sidhant. It's great to be with you in WION. We are inaugurating on the 5th, so in 2 days, the exhibition of hand-painted street signs from the Dominican Republic and India. This is an art form that is very prevalent, or that has been very prevalent in the past decades, both in the Dominican Republic and India. It's art that is done in the street, in the walls, to advertise different kind of products. And what is very interesting, and this is why we've put this show together, is that when you look at these images on the walls of both the Dominican Republic and India, you'll realize that there is a very similar and common vocabulary, a very common imaginary in both countries, and this despite of the fact that both countries are very distant, that they have different histories, that there has not been migration between both countries. So art in a way becomes a manner, becomes a way to see the similarities between both countries, but also, of course, as you see the pictures and you get into the exhibition, you realize that there are also differences.
Mm-hmm. So art is that universal language that connects India and Dominican Republic.
Yes, it's a universal language that connects, humanity connects all countries. But what we want to stress with this show is that it also connects the streets of both countries, that it connects the common people of both countries. Sometimes and many times in diplomacy, we do interactions and we look for interactions between officials, we look for interactions between businessmen, and even when we do exhibition is between fine artists, very renowned artists. And what we wanted here to show is the art of the common people, is art that is done by anonymous street painters in both countries, and put that together and show that at that level, at the level of the people, at the most basic and simple level, both countries share a lot in common.
Mm-hmm. Relationship between the two countries, the Indian External Affairs Minister will be going to your country. If you can talk about that visit.
Yes, well, we are preparing for an historical visit. In the month, at the end of April, External Affairs Jaishankar will travel to the Dominican Republic. This will be the first time that External Affairs ministers from India travel to our country. This shows that our relations are growing. Last year, India opened its mission in the Dominican Republic, so that means that India is betting seriously on the Dominican Republic, on the potential of the relation and on the growth of the relation, and we are sure that the visit of the Minister Jaishankar will give a big boost to the relations between both countries.
Mm-hmm. India and the Caribbean, there has been a lot of engagement, a lot of focus. If you can talk about that as well, given that India in the last few years have increasing its engagement with that part of the world.
Yes, we definitely see that, and we see it with the visits, high-level visits that are going not only to the Dominican Republic, but to the other Caribbean region. And I will say not only the Caribbean, let's talk about the whole Latin American and Caribbean region. So we see an increase of visits. The trade between at least the Dominican Republic and India has been growing steadily. 2021, we reached $1 billion of trade. And we are developing cooperation. We are looking into cooperation in areas in which we had not worked together. In the case of the Dominican Republic, we're looking at space, we're looking at oceanography, we're looking at IT, we're looking at capacity building. So there's like a wide range of areas in which we can work together, and I think India is looking seriously at the region.
Any significant announcement we can expect during EAM's visit to your country?
There will be some announcement. We're working on some agreements also, but let's wait the visit, and the announcement will be made during the visit and closer to the visit.
Sir, you have been in India previously as well, in not ambassadorial post as a diplomat, and you have had a long association with India. If you can talk about your association with India, many of the viewers would like to know about that.
Yes, well, I came as a junior diplomat to India in 2006. I spent 4 years. I was in my 20s. I had a great time in India. It's a country that marked me a lot, that taught me a lot at the time. So coming back 15 years later as ambassador has been a great privilege. Being 2 times in a country with a lapse of 15 years allows you to see what has changed. And one of the things that has changed is actually related to the exhibition we are showing now. I remember very clearly when I was here 2006-07, seeing a lot of hand-painted signs around the streets of India. In going to the airport, the road to Mahipalpur had a lot of PL1, which are these local doctors. There were big big signs that were very beautifully painted. Now when I go back to the streets, the pehelwan are still there, the doctors are still there, but all the advertisement is done with vinyl, is done with plastic, it's printed. So you see this kind of little change, but those little change are the ones that make the culture and that talk to you a lot about how the countries are changing and in which direction they're going.
So my last question to you is, you have been in India significantly. You have learned the language as well, I believe, Hindi. If you can say a few words in Hindi for our viewers.
जी मैं थोड़ी हिंदी आती है जब मैं 15 साल पहले दिल्ली में रहा मैंने कुछ हिंदी सीखी लेकिन अभी जब मैं दोबारा दिल्ली में रहा हूँ तो अभी मैं शुद्ध हिंदी सीखना चाहता है और मैं हर हफ्ते 3 बार कुछ कक्षा लेता हूँ और शायद 1 साल में 2 सालों में मैं अच्छा हिंदी बोलूँगा और आपका सब सवाल हिंदी में दूँगा.
Well, thank you so much, sir. It was a pleasure speaking to you and, of course, coming to this exhibition as well. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
With video journalist Sidhant Sibal for WION in New Delhi.